This is Calm AF, a podcast for humans who are hard on themselves. A podcast for the overthinkers, people pleasers, perfectionists, and overachievers. I'm Kristen Finch, and I'm going to teach you how to quiet that incessant negative chatter in your head. Because you know what a person with a calm mind can do? Anything they want. Grab your coffee, gorgeous soul, because today's the day you get Calm AF. Hello, gorgeous souls. Welcome back to Calm AF. This is something exciting. This is a dumb thing that might only excite me, but you know what I just noticed? That our last episode in 2022 was episode 222, and our first episode of 2023 is 223. I feel like that's a good sign. We need a good sign for this year, don't we? So let's just dive right in. I'm so excited to be back here with you. And here's what we're going to do. Here is the plan for 2023. We are letting go of the bullshit stories and the limiting beliefs and the society-driven obstacles. And we are just going to spend this year sliding into our future Calm AF selves. Meaning, this year, 2023, I want you to commit, relentlessly commit to not doing shit the same way you've been doing it. Not trying to change who you are, not trying to change all the external things. Instead of trying to change who you are, trying to morph yourself into the version of you that you think more people will love and accept, instead of trying to fit in a box that you simply don't fit in, this year, you're just going to let all those things fall behind you. Instead of trying to change them, you're going to fall behind. Instead of you doing the work to try and change, so maybe, just maybe, the people around you will be more kind or more accepting or more loving, we're going to say, F that noise. Here is the vibe for 2023, gorgeous souls. Stand up straight, put your shoulders back, take a deep breath in, and remember who the f you are is who the f you are here to be. You are not a mistake. How you were wired, how you were designed, it is not a mistake. And here's something else I want you to hear. I'm going to say this, and I want you to write it down on a piece of paper and staple it to your face so that you see this message every minute of every day. The tiring, lonely, empty feeling isn't coming from you not being who you're supposed to be, not being this quote unquote best version of yourself. It's coming from you thinking that who you are isn't the best version of yourself and that you need to be a different version of yourself. Thinking there's something about you that is a problem to be solved is what's creating the shit you don't like in your life. It's not the other way around. The reason you aren't living a life that feels aligned with your future self right now is because you think that in order to become your future self, you need to change 8 bajillion things, and that feels overwhelming, and your brain tells you, rightly so, that that's impossible to change 8 bajillion things. You don't have the time, you don't have the money, you don't have the energy, and so you give up. That's why you aren't living a life that feels aligned. Here's what I want you to do in 2023. Stop trying to change yourself. Start letting yourself be. Start aligning with who you are instead of striving and pushing and exhausting yourself trying to be someone different. That is how your external changes are going to happen. They're going to happen as a byproduct of you being aligned with your worthiness, as a byproduct of you being calm AF now as you are, about who you are. Radical acceptance, which, by the way, radical acceptance doesn't mean you can't want to change things in your life. Honestly, it doesn't mean throwing your hands in the air and saying, welp, guess I just have to accept this thing that doesn't feel good, that I don't like, this life that isn't aligned. No. Acceptance is simply an internal owning of what is real. Ownership. This is what it looks like. This is the life, the body, the house, the relationships, the job, the circumstances I am living in right now. I got here because of how I feel about my worthiness, because I didn't set the boundaries, because I didn't think I could. I got here because I'm trying to compensate for what my younger self thought was the answer. Okay, so depending on how you grew up, I put myself last constantly because that's what I saw my mom do, or that's what I saw my mom definitely not do. This is my life because I learned faultily that in order to be safe, in order to be accepted, in order to not be rejected by the people around me, I had to not be myself. I am here. This is my life because I've spent that life up until now trying not to be myself, trying to be anything but myself. I've been holding my truth in. I've been dulling myself down. I've been playing it safe, trying not to be too much, or hypervigilantly trying to prove my worthiness through the way I show up, through my productivity, through external successes. Now you know. Now you know this is why you're here. Radical acceptance is simply knowing and owning that this current life looks this way because of a lifetime of trying, striving, dulling down, and pushing yourself. And you did it not because there's something wrong with you, but because your limbic brain and your nervous system taught you this is what you have to do. And it has served you in many ways, but if now you're looking around like, well, what do I do now? The answer is not to do it the same way. So it's not the trying and the striving and the dulling and the pushing. The answer is not to try harder, not to try to find more willpower, be more disciplined, change the 8 bajillion things. If you want to change your life, the answer is to do the opposite thing you've been doing. Try radical acceptance, self-love, unconditional worthiness. Start looking at where you are with pride. Oh my God, you survived. You survived whatever it was. Abuse, narcissist, trauma, rejection, being ignored, feeling loved only when you were achieving, when you were good, being told you're too sensitive, having to fight for everything. It's that old thinking that helped you survive. So thank your younger self, your past self, and your current self for getting you here. You're here. And then tap into that inner knowing, that feeling that has been with you all along. This can't be it. It can't be. This isn't the life I'm here to live. I just know it. I don't know how to change it, but I just know it. You're going to tap into that. You're going to trust that feeling that what got you here is so amazing. And in order to change for the next phase, you're going to do it differently. Radical acceptance, self-love, unconditional worthiness. Adding ease to this part of the future self, right? The opposite of the way you've been trying to change your life. It hasn't been by adding ease. It's by trying harder. We're going to add comfort and patience and self-compassion to this next stretch of the journey. How would it feel to wake up every day and know that working harder and being more disciplined and being more rigid is actually not the thing that's going to change your life the quickest? It's the thing that's going to keep you stuck, right? This is just simply aligning with how you want to feel, adding more joy instead of putting off joy until the external change happens. Dave and I sat down to do our goals together the other day. We always like to share what we want to create together and separately in the new year. And so we sat down and went through the Calm AF goal manifesting process. And when we finished up, he had one goal. He was like, that's it. There are no more. I don't need any more. This is it. And that goal was to feel the way he felt when he was a kid playing with his trucks in the sandbox. He was just in the moment, in the joy, not looking around, seeing what anyone else was doing, not comparing the way he built the sand piles compared to what another kid did, not comparing his trucks to someone else's trucks, just content, being fully himself, being in the moment, being energetically aligned. And when we got to that, right, when it was like I kept digging and we kept looking deeper into like, what is the feeling state? And we got there, he was like, oh, this is the only goal I need. Like aligning with this goal, feeling how I felt when I was a kid playing with my trucks in the sandbox, that will impact every other goal I have. I don't need a separate one for relationships or a separate one for work or a separate one for physical health. I can just use this one goal. Right? Every other area of my life that I want to change will change when I do this, when I am in this feeling state. Yes, 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 that's how you do it. And last week, another example, in Calm AF Life, we gathered to do our goals together. And one of the women was like, oh, I know, it's the feeling I get when I'm paddleboarding. Yes, that's the only goal you need. Aligning with that feeling is going to change everything in your life, right? And if you want to change your external circumstances, that's fine. But just know that the only way that's going to happen is when you stop trying to do it the way you've always done it, because you haven't created it that way. Stop thinking that a rigid plan or more willpower or machine-like discipline is what's going to get you there. That's what got you here. And thank God you're here. Thank you for putting that work in and for being hard on yourself, right, to get you to where you are now. But if you want your life to feel better, for real, for good, for life, then you've got to change how you're showing up. Instead of trying to change who you are, you're just going to become the most full version of who you are. Step into your alignment. So that's what we're doing in 2023. Not changing the external world so that you can align with how you want to feel, aligning with how you feel, aligning with how you want to feel, and watching your external world change, not without effort, but without resistance, without giving up on yourself, and without exhaustion. That's our plan. You with me? Such a better way to do it. When we were in the workshop, everyone was like, oh, that's better. When I was doing it with Dave, he's like, oh, that's nice. I like that. Yes. This is the way. All right. It's your turn. This year, add more ease, align with who you are, not who you think you should be. Let's let that go. All right. Love you so much. I'll see you next week. If you love this podcast, you will love Call Me F Life. It's a self-paced, lifetime access DIY course that teaches you all the concepts that I talk about here, from nervous system regulation to manifesting with ease. And since we know that true change doesn't happen just because you know what to do, you also get an all-access pass to coaching calls and accountability so you don't stay stuck and you don't give up. The best investment you could ever make is in yourself. Call Me F Life is here for you now. Life's not waiting. Let's get you aligned with your Call Me F Self, gorgeous soul. I cannot wait to meet you. Go to KristenFinch.com and join me today.